Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back, 24 Creative. All right, so tackling some questions we got today. First one, when making a song, what do you build first? The lyrics or the beat? This is a good question. And actually, the songwriting process for me, the best way I found is I write lyrics whenever. I write little snippets of lyrics whenever I'm out and about on the day. And sometimes I write lyrics to different beats and kind of put them on other beats and stuff. So lyrics is kind of always brewing around. Sometimes I'll have songs that I've written to other songs, and I'll bring them to newer songs. And I'll do remixes. So lyrics, if it really comes down to it, I guess there's always going to be lyrics first. But the thing is when making something that has a melody, or getting a new melody, I can also write to that melody once I kind of see the vibe and the direction of it. So it really depends on the project. If you're going into a studio session and you guys are going to make a song straight from scratch, probably the melody's going to come first. Unless you guys have lyrics in mind that has a certain attitude about it, then you can kind of go off of that to make a melody around that. Certain chords have different emotions, and certain tempos bring about different kind of, song structures. But usually, I would just go in there and just start banging around on stuff, playing chords, listening to other music, trying to get drum ideas and stuff. And with the beats, I usually either have a strong kind of melody in my head, or I'll start with the drums and then I'll start with a tempo and a vibe, and then just kind of build off on that. So that's kind of my process on lyrics and being beats or lyrics first. Always working on lyrics, and you can always edit lyrics to fit any beat, really. It's just a matter of your delivery. So always keep building lyrics. You never know what beat you might find. And when you're creating beats, just let it flow, And it's best to try to get a good structure to a beat, and then move on to a different kind, move on to the next, depending on how much time you have. But it's good to not try to get too hung up on one thing. You want to get a lot of skeletons kind of structured, and then start filling them out as inspiration comes to completing each one, So that's question number one. Question number two for us is, how important is merch for performers? Okay, so merch is one of those things, we talk about bringing value to a live performance. We talk about bringing value to even your fans. Merch is going to be very key for that, because, when you're performing a song, that's a marketing ploy, Yes, some people may pay for the experience, but what if the show's free, or what if it's just a good exposure plug, That's where merch is important, because it gives people something tangible to leave with, remember you, and to kind of have a call of action to support. Be it a CD, you could have lighters, you could have, like little pins, that you can stick on backpacks, tote bags. Merch, it doesn't really matter what the product is, as long as it's like representing your brand and the product itself represents your brand. If you're a kind of a reggae ska group that has a couple smoking songs, it wouldn't be out of your merchandise selection to have maybe a lighter leash, or to set up, you know, a weed tray with your logo on it. Those are some ideas that I've seen work really well for niche ideas. Then if you're a Christian rock group or something, Bible bookmarks, you know, something like that would probably go really well at your merch booth. What else could there be? T-shirts are always clutch, you know. A lot of people should start with T-shirts. And T-shirt business is something that I think every creative should keep in their arsenal, no matter what category you're in. Music, film, you're an artist, you're a rapper, you're a graffiti writer. Hell, even if you're a bartender, learning how to make your own shirts is very, very clutch, if you can. But also just learning the process on producing shirts gives you just a good insight into the distribution and production industry in wherever city you're in, you know. It forces you to go out to your fashion district and to see what kind of wholesale prices you can get. And what it does is, you know, I think it just gives you a bigger foundation in the business of your art, the entire scene of your art, you know, what you're actually putting out into the culture, having an album even, you know. I'm actually glad that I haven't touched on that too much because, you know, most people, when they think of merch, they think of CDs or T-shirts, but I'm trying to give you this whole bigger thing of examples we could pull from. So, you know, leaving people an album, it's just going to teach you the cost versus return, you know. You might make only, if you're selling the album for $10, but it costs you $8 to make it, the jewel case, the shrink wrap, the mastering, the studio time, all calculated to maybe $8 an hour. But the T-shirts, you got a good deal. You're getting those for $3 or $4, and you're printing them yourself for really cheap, maybe like $4.50, and you're selling them for $10 or $12. Well, you're making a lot more on your T-shirts than you are on your CD. Just on, you know, return on investment, just basic business numbers. So what does that mean? Does that mean that your CD is useless? No, and the CD is one of your brand products. That's telling the story. But you want everything that you do, all your YouTube videos, your music videos, everything to kind of correlate to one another so that you can have all of these different streams and you're not just depending on one thing that gives you a great return. You have all these other options as well. You know, then there's also cross-promoting your fields, you know. Say you're a songwriter, and if you can make a book about songwriting and you have that online, or you have hard copies with you during your tours, that opens you up a lot more, you know, because hell, say you have a show one night and you have down night 2 nights, well, then you can go to an open mic and just do a reading of a little passage from your book, and heck, maybe make a few sales on your book too, you know. You could be doing YouTube videos promoting your books and stuff. So that's another angle of merch too. Really, you know, merch is just the art of business, you know. It brings more of a business value to your art, and you'll start to see that, wow, it's not just me, it's not just my songs, it's this whole experience, it's the whole storytelling element. You know, it's storytelling about how'd you get that shirt? Oh, this band, I saw them in, you know, Orange County at the observatory, and it was crazy. Like, they were so dope. They were only in town for one day, and I bought the shirt. That alone is gonna stick and be brought up in more conversations than the songs that they heard that night. Even though technically you probably put more time into making the songs, but the songs got you on the stage. What you do after and how you affect people is kind of how your people and hustle skills are, you know. What can you provide to people? So, you know, and then that also goes into, you know, not being a dick, you know, being able to network and talk to people, getting people invested into the deeper why behind your brand. So yeah, what do you build first? Song with the song, is it the beat or the lyrics? It depends on the situation. Usually, like I was saying, I have a stash of lyrics and I can fit them to any beat. But if I'm in a studio session where we're making beats, I'll catch the melody and then I'll write the lyrics to that vibe. And then once I have a vibe, I can go through my arsenal and see what other verses I might have that I can supplement that with. And then merch is very important. Get on it as quick as you can, even if it means just printing a CD. I mean, people don't even have CD players anymore. But just getting something that has maybe one song or a lyric package, just something you can print up and put on a booth, you're going to see that you're going to leave people with a lot more in the future. So that's all for today. Stay tuned. We got more coming. Peace.